Suzie, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Where are you now, Suzie?
So I'm based in the UK in the northwest. I live in a small village not too far from Manchester.
How is it there? Is it good? Is it a good life?
Yeah, I love it here. I love being out in the countryside. I'm somebody who likes to be close to nature. So I can get out into the fields right from my house. And I also have great access to some of the great national parks in the UK as well, not far away.
That's great. So maybe in London, it's more like a megapolis with a lot of traffic, a lot of people, but where you live, it's more like nature.
London's a bit too busy for me.
So, my impression from the childhood about England is about the Conan Doyle, the Hound of Baskervilles. So yes. My appreciation of England is like this moor and these old castles and all this stuff, but I enjoyed it a lot.
There are some old castles around, yes.
So, just could you tell me what do you do in the Nordic AI? Just what is your position and what are you responsible for?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a board advisor for Nordic AI. So I'm part of a group of 4 board advisors, and we meet with Nordic AI once a month and discuss the strategy and progress, and we ask them questions and help guide them on their journey with the progression of their company.
Could you tell about your professional journey, about what did you do in life and what knowledge and education do you have?
Of course. So I'm a life science graduate, and I started off working in academia. So I worked in lab research in the UK and also in Australia at the start of my career. And then I very quickly moved into the commercial world, into technical roles in life science commercial companies. So I worked for Applied Biosystems, which is now part of Thermo Fisher, and then for QIAGEN, which is a German headquartered company. I then moved into clinical trials technology, so focusing more on the technology side. Worked for a startup company initially, and then a medium-sized American company. And then at the end of 30 years in the commercial world, so I was focused very much on building new business and managing leadership of a global team around the world. But I decided I wanted to move into board work and take a slightly different direction. So at the end of last year, I moved out of my full-time commercial executive role and started to build a board portfolio. And in fact, Nordic AI was one of the first board positions that I took on. I was very interested in what they were doing. I was very interested in how AI can contribute and improve everything, really. And I'm very interested in the healthcare applications that they have too.
I see. But how did you meet the guys? So I think that it's quite interesting mix of different talents in the Nordic AI, and people of even different generations and different they live in different parts of Norway, and you see in the United Kingdom. How did you find each other?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So when I first started getting interested in board roles, I decided I needed to join a network of similar like-minded people who were also either in board roles already or aspiring board members. And I joined an organization called Veblen. And at Veblen, board members can bring in companies that are looking to create boards from scratch or looking to add members to boards. And they brought in Nordic AI as a company that were interested in forming their first board. And it very much interested me. So I applied for a role there, had an interview with Sebastian, and I think we hit it off and chimed with the aspirations of what they were doing, and I felt I could really help them with their commercial strategy. We took it from there, and 3 of my colleagues from Veblen also joined in the board at the same time, so we created the whole board from the Veblen network.
I see. So you're united with their team, and now you are in the fast-growing, ambitious team of Nordic AI.
Yes.
And you tell that you're motivated by healthcare, but maybe can you go a little bit deeper about what motivated you to step into the Nordic AI, and what personal goals did you set for yourself in that position?
Okay, so I think what I was interested in with Nordic AI I think probably the main thing was the enthusiasm and drive of the leadership team. That's what really grabbed me the most. And I think for me to be honest, in any working role, it's the connection with the people I'm going to work with that's most important to me. So I think the fact that they were driven, they were focused, they had some very interesting products and services that they were offering. I felt I could learn from them as well. They're AI experts and I'm not really, so that's not my background. So I felt I could really learn the AI side from them. I also felt I had the commercial expertise that I could bring to them to help them. And my passion really was to help lift them, to help them be as successful as they can possibly be. And that's what I continually strive to do with them.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I am sure that you have a tremendous experience, even though this technology is quite new, but it is based. It cannot work without the experience and human mind and brain and the ethical principles and conscious of human. I think that that's important part of it. So how do you integrate governance best practices into strategic decision making for Nordic AI?
So I think that's something that we are looking at as we go along. They're very fast moving as a company, so they're progressing really, really fast. So I would say every month we have a monthly meeting. There are brand new things happening every single month. So I think from the governance side and the risk side, as a board, what we're trying to do is to make sure that there's nothing that's going to go wrong. So making sure that we look out for any hurdles, any problems that might be coming up in the near future or in the distant future that we can alert them to. And I think also starting to help them put in place a clear governance structure, financial model, which they've done a fantastic job of recently. So and business plan, it's quite a complex business as well for a startup. They're progressing into a very complex structure already for a company that's not been going all that long. So helping them navigate that fast progression and transition as well. I think that's something that we're offering help with. But yeah, I mean, the guys are fantastic to work with. So yeah, I feel like we really work as a team. We bring something to the table, they bring something to the table, we discuss, we disagree, and we come out with a good direction and a good way forward, I think.
Yeah, after having maybe a dozen of meetings with Stefan and also with Sebastian, we had also some connection in Instagram and even doing some physical exercise in different parts of the world. And also with Vetle, with Nacha, with Reka, now with you, Suzie. I see that you have a bunch of deep and ethical minds and people who not only learn technology, but they want to make an impact to the world.
Yeah.
So my next question is about how you landed your first board role within a week of joining the Veblen Directors Program. Can you share what enabled that rapid success?
So that was really networking. So that was actually with another member of the Veblen network who was a founder of the company and was looking for somebody with my expertise. So obviously an element of luck there that I was the right person in the right place. But I think the other piece that I made a conscious effort to do was to connect with as many of the Veblen network as possible, as quickly as possible when I first joined. So I was looking to connect with people, and then one of the people I connected with turned out they were looking for somebody with my expertise. So it was a nice coincidence, but also partly driven by my need to network quickly.
Yeah, I think that all of you have this capability of networking and making new connection quickly, and you are open to new friends, new technologies, and all this combined makes you irresistible. And that is in contrast with people who are just sending their resumes, their CVs, and sitting waiting for new opportunities. We do not rise if you do not speak to people a lot.
I don't think that works any longer. Maybe it worked years ago, but even for regular executive jobs now, I don't think that works. You have to be networking, speaking to different people, making sure people are aware of who you are and what you can help.
Yeah, thank you, Suzie. That's I totally support that. And let us speak a little bit about the vision and mission in AI from Nordic AI principles that company promotes AI to empower, not to replace human activity. How do you operationalize that ethos in product development and partnerships?
Okay, well that's not really my job. That's the job of the leadership team at Nordic AI, but I think they have the right approach to it. So I think it's all about using AI to lift the human element as high as possible. So to automate, it's basically about automating the boring jobs and then helping you to do the jobs that humans do need to do better than you could otherwise. So I think it's those two things really. Get rid of what you don't enjoy doing and which is something which is boring, and then augmenting what you do well.
AI will not replace your jobs, but it will replace the boring parts of your job, right?
Which we're all happy to get rid of.
So I'm sorry to maybe ask questions that maybe you're not directly responsible for, but you can just make your attitude and
I think the ethos is still there. It's the same.
So, in what ways is Nordic AI focusing on using AI to support mental health without undermining the human elements of care?
Yeah, so I think what they have developed is an app or a system which can be used to be available for people who need a two-way conversation, but who don't at that point in time have access to human connection. So it might be people who actually don't want human connection at that point in their life or the process that they're in. Or it might be, for example, people wake up in the middle of the night and haven't got anybody to talk to and are having a difficult time. So all of those are just a couple of examples, but that's the idea, to provide something that fills those gaps when you can't access human connection.
Yeah, I see. So might I...
Sebastian is the expert on that. So
we'll I talked to them. We had a very lively interview that we published maybe a month and a half ago. What are the biggest challenges in building AI tools that enhance emotional wellness while adhering to that data privacy and ethical norms? I understand that maybe it's not directly what you are responsible for, but can you comment on the emotional wellness and adhering to that data privacy and ethical norms?
Yeah, so I think obviously it's a highly regulated area. Anything to do with supporting medical or health area tends to be highly regulated. So that's something that we can do as a board, is help with the governance of the program as it develops. But I think that's something that the leadership and the people developing the program are very aware of. So there will be certain areas that they can't step over, and there will be other areas that they can pursue further. So yeah, it's important as the system develops that we make sure it sits within the guardrails that are there for a reason. Regulation is there for a reason, to protect people and patients.
Yeah. Thank you, Suzie. I think that whatever you tell is aligned with what I think and what my position is. So next question is, what innovations or initiatives at Nordic AI currently excite you most, and why?
Gosh, pretty much everything they're doing. I think that the mental health application is very interesting. I'm very excited to see where that will go. It seems to be gaining a lot of traction already. But another thing they're doing is chatbots. We all know how much we hate chatbots on websites. They've got ones that are actually nice to use, which I've never come across before. So yes, if anybody's looking for a chatbot that is actually pleasant to use, I think probably Nordic AI is the only company I've come across that produces anything decent. And then also they're just experts in their AI automation as well. So they can really help with any industry, any process, and they will just pick out the right AI tools to make it work. So I think that for a young company, they've got a tremendous amount of experience and knowledge and expertise.
The next question is about criteria. What criteria do you use to evaluate potential opportunities or startups in the life sciences or health tech sectors?
Okay, so opportunities for me to serve on boards you're thinking about? Yes. So I would say going back to the culture thing. So I think it's very much, does the leadership have the right culture that I can fit in with, that I can contribute to, that I can be productive with? I would say that's possibly the number one. It really is. But secondly, I think I do have a niche expertise of the technology intersection with healthcare, or technology intersection with life science in general. So any companies that have a product or a service which is at that intersection of technology and life science, I think that's really where I can add a lot of value. I think the other place that I can really add value is a company that's ready for growth. Nordic AI already have products on the market. They're already making money, so they're in the right place for me to help them. So my expertise as an executive is really in growing the company, helping them enter new markets, acquire new customers. Companies that are ready for that growth stage, I think, is the other piece. Yeah, if all three of those are in place, that would be perfect.
I totally agree with that. You cannot work with some people, the culture in the company. And so I like what Simon Sinek talks about, and leaders eat the last, or everything starts with your why. Start with your why. And also the corporate culture in any company, if it is rotten, it is in low trust, and people don't understand what they're doing, where they're heading, and you cannot align with most people. You understand that, and if you don't understand that, you will have problems afterwards.
Yeah. So I think you have to be in a position where you can communicate openly with the leadership. If you're on the board, you need to be able to, they need to be comfortable with being challenged by the board. And I think that only happens if there's a level of trust between you, and a level of understanding as well. So you need to be able to communicate your challenge in the right way to them. So I think those are the critical pieces. And if that's not there, I think really, however appropriate the company is, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and no matter the amount of money or contract. So
yeah.
Thank you, Suzie. So then my next question is, how do you balance the push for rapid AI development with the need for thoughtful governance and risk mitigation?
Yeah. So I think it's easy to move fast with AI development. And I think it's the same with technology before AI came along as well. It's easy to make very fast progress with technology. So I think it's more a case of holding it back when you need to. Just saying, right, just stop a minute, stop, think about it. We just need to get this bit right and make sure we're ticking all those correct boxes before we progress on to the next stage. So yeah, I think it's knowing when to stop and take a breath, knowing that actually the moving fast forward is actually not difficult with AI.
Yeah, that's true. So given your governance advisory role, what lessons from serving on multiple boards have informed your strategic approach at Nordic AI?
That's a good question, and I think it's really, really beneficial to serve on multiple boards, because you can actually learn from different people that you're interacting with on other boards and bring ideas that are working from other companies into this particular board. So I would say with Nordic AI, it's one of the fastest moving companies I'm working with, and it's also one of the ones I've been working with for longest. So if anything, it's probably going a little bit the other way. I'm probably taking ideas that are working well for Nordic AI to other companies. But there is some similarities. I think, setting up a sales and marketing pipeline is something that I'm doing in multiple board roles at the moment, guiding the setup of that. So that's something that I've definitely brought ideas from other companies to Nordic AI for. But it's also a case that every company is very different. You can't implement the idea exactly the same way that you did in a different company, because there are such big differences, and the way the boards work are different as well. So yes, there's lots of cross-fertilization of ideas, but nothing gets directly translated. I would say it always has to be customized a little bit for a different company.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question is about, how do you ensure equitable representation and stakeholder alignment in board discussions and decision making.
And it's really about creating an environment of trust and open discussion and making sure that there's opportunities for every member to contribute who, has something that they want to contribute. So, but offering plenty of opportunities for everybody to contribute. Being proactive about that. I think it's a case of, if you feel somebody hasn't had the chance to speak, ask them if they've got something that they want to contribute. So just making it as easy as possible for people to contribute, and also creating that atmosphere of trust and confidence. So building confidence in everybody who's in the meeting that it's okay to contribute something challenging, something different, something against what everyone else is thinking. We're open to that because that's important.
So there is one book that I like about trust. It's called The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey Jr. Trust. And if in the organization, in the level of the organization, if the level of trust is low, then people are not incentivized to speak about their opinion. People try to speak only what the boss likes to speak and what other people are comfortable with. But to be sincere with one's ideas is possible only when there is atmosphere of trust and openness and liberal,
Yeah, that's so true. And I've experienced both good situations and bad situations in my working life where that's been the case. So I've definitely experienced situations where people only feel they can say what the boss is wanting to hear, which doesn't help anybody.
So I've also experienced this a lot. I feel this when you are up and then everybody wants to flatter the boss and to look important and to look useful for orientation, to run a lot, to be engaged to the late hour and like many things. And then everybody says, you are such a great worker. You are late at 9 p.m. Good work. Nice guy. So this is not how it works, in my opinion.
No, that's something that I've been very strong on through the whole of my career. Any management role I've been in, leadership role, and I'm translating that now into board roles and board chair roles, that creating this atmosphere of trust and building confidence in the people who are on the board and in the meeting, so the leadership team as well, is critical. I really don't see how you can be productive without that. So it's so important. It's the number one thing that I feel needs to be created at the start of a board journey.
So I was the CEO of an international company a while ago before the war. I was the head of 70 people and we had 20 offices in Ukraine. So I was not the top director, the top president of the company who is outside of Ukraine, but I felt a lot responsibility between each and every person who I hired. I hired a lot of people. So that also, and I feel a lot of weight on responsibility, and I see how people make politics not work.
Yes.
Some people want to look important and to gain the position. So I saw a lot of this.
Yes, it's common, unfortunately, sadly.
So now I'm more independent, so I just enjoy more about. What do you consider your leadership signature, your core values, and how have they shaped your advisory philosophy?
Okay. So building this culture of trust is one big value. I think another area I'm very focused on the future all the time. So I'm always looking ahead, which I think is important for board roles. I've done it naturally all my executive life as well. So that's something that I am always focused on, looking at the future. I'm also quite competitive. I like targets. If the target's too easy, then I set myself a higher one. I like a good challenge. So I think it's a combination of those things.
So Mihai Csikszentmihalyi told in his book The Flow, the person is most happy when he's happy only when he is at work solving some problem that is not too difficult and not too easy, so he has to overcome, but there should be some sense of achievement and some work. Otherwise, if somebody thinks that the best life is sitting under the palm and looking onto the sun, but it is not like that. You will not find achievement, find fullness of your life if you just relax.
Yes, I think also everybody's different. I have 3 daughters, and they are all very different in that respect. I have one daughter who needs to be not over challenged. She needs to sit just below what she can achieve. That's the kind of target she needs. I have another daughter who's a bit similar to me, and she likes to go right up there, head for the stars. So so I think people are different, and that's another thing that you have to be aware of when you're working in teams is the difference between people and their needs. So you can't treat everybody the same way.
And so there is a concept of growing mind and fixed mind, and also we are also in between. But the people who with the most who have the mostly growing mind are more likely to embrace challenge.
Yes.
So they like otherwise people who like to sit in this position and nobody touch me and I will do my job, I will get my salary.
Yeah.
It's more of a fixed mind, and we need to go a little bit further from this because it's go to stable, and in this life of fast change you can be out of the competition.
Yeah, I mean, those people can struggle in that situation where you've got fast change, but there's a place for people like that as well. So, you know, it's really important to have people who are very good at what they do and are actually very happy continuing to do the same thing. I mean, I love people like that because I'm somebody who likes change. So I'm always looking for something new and different. So if there's a job that needs to just continue being done, I'm very grateful for the person who just wants to carry on doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can enjoy any work, and in the Cal Newport, I think Cal Newport, he has a book, Deep Work, and he describes all the types of seemingly simple work that from other side, from the deep inside the person, it looks quite complicated, insightful, and conscious. So if person is fully in the moment, he can make any job perfect, and he'll be absolutely happy with it if he makes it like perfect, and he puts every effort and consciousness and soul into it.
And don't forget, AI can deal with some of those boring jobs as well.
Yeah, that's true. So looking back, what pivotal moments in your journey best illustrate your impact on health tech or life sciences innovation?
Okay. Well, I'm very proud of being involved in some of the big steps that have happened over the last 30 years. So, for example, in the first company I worked with after I left academia, we were providing the instrumentation that was used to provide the first sequence of the human genome in 2001. So I feel like I played a small part in that project, which I'm very proud of. Much more recently, during the COVID pandemic, the company that I was working with was providing the technology to collect data for the COVID vaccine trials for both the Pfizer vaccine and the AstraZeneca vaccine. So again, I felt like I've played a small part in those 2 vaccine trials, and that was something that really help the world. So I feel very proud of those things. I think there are some also smaller successes as well. But I think for me, playing a small part in those really big jumps in knowledge or human progress is extremely motivating.
So what you tell me reminds me of the book of Robin Sharma, The Everyday Hero. So that whatever we do in every day of life of our lives, it changes the world, even with the small steps. But in this world of interconnectedness, nobody knows who does what. So maybe some people are on the newspaper, but we can come up with some solution in health tech with vaccine, or like a lot of stories come to my mind. But I understand that these things can make an huge impact on the future of humanity.
Yes.
And health.
Yes. So playing a small part in those big jumps is something that I find very motivating, and I love to be part of. And I suppose that's probably also something I'm looking for when I'm looking for new roles. I'm looking for, has this company got the chance to make a big impact?
Thank you, Suzie. So about how does Nordic AI foster inclusive access to its AI tools, especially in mental health, for underserved communities?
That's an interesting one. And again, probably I would defer to the Nordic AI leadership team on that. I think they probably do a very good job. I know that I've seen, that They're bringing in opportunities across many different industries, and they've got interest from people all over the world. They're very agnostic in the way that they offer what they do. So I think that they are absolutely trying to be as diverse as possible, focusing on bringing in some underrepresented areas. The details of that is probably not something that I can really comment on.
Yeah. Thank you, Suzie. What future pathways do you envision for AI's role in global wellness and human-centric healthcare?
Wow, well, there are so many different ways. I think, what Nordic AI is doing in the way of they're helping with processes, to automate processes, and we have processes in pretty much all of the human healthcare that we provide. And they're also providing apps that can be of benefit to individual health as well. So that's another way of doing it. I mean, the world is your oyster with AI, really, isn't it? I think there are just so many different ways it can contribute. And I think at the moment we are just scratching the surface of what's possible. I don't think I even know what's going to be possible in even in 2 years' time. 2 years ago, I don't think we expected we would be doing what we're doing today. So I think this is such a fast-moving area. It's very difficult to predict where it will really impact. Obviously, there's a big drive for drug development, using AI in drug development. So that those are the kind of areas that are evident at the moment. But I think what's going to be possible in a couple of years' time, I really don't think we know at the moment.
Yeah, I think that there are so many human organism, our body, DNA are so complicated. All the individual parts and all the illnesses and intricacies of one's life, physical and emotional, so that if you have enough information, enough data to treat each patient in advance and to prevent most deadly diseases like diabetes, like heart disease, Alzheimer's, and cancer, all of this can be even reversed on the initial stages. So whenever one comes to this point, so there should be a whole lot of advice, individual advice and treatment for each person. And now anybody comes to the doctor and he looks at him for 15 minutes and looks at his card, you take this, and prescribes almost for anybody almost the same, not bespoke treatment, but common treatment. And I think that kills much more people than the war, and even compared to what diseases are. So
well, I saw a post yesterday from Bill Gates saying that AI is going to replace doctors and also replace teachers, which is an interesting, probably slightly controversial point, but is interesting because I think there is a lot of what they do that can at least be supported by AI a lot better than it is at the moment. But, I'm working with a couple of other AI companies apart from Nordic AI. So one is using AI to analyze lab data coming out of university research labs. So that's another use of AI, and being able to understand and collect data across different research labs and analyze it very quickly to see trends, to see potential problems, to see perhaps things that you wouldn't quickly see with the human eye. So that's something that's really interesting. Another one is using it to help with with business processes, and also helping to connect people better, more efficient networking rather than what we currently do on social media, which is it's kind of really basic networking. So what Multics are trying to do is make it much more personal, but by using AI to support.
Last year I bought a continuous glucose monitor, some things to put on my arm, and I checked my glucose meter. This is one of the devices that will be much more popular in the future. Maybe for everyone, to check your heart, to check your glucose, to check your blood. And so I have 2 books here. One book is called Outlive by Dr. Peter Attia about longevity. It's very deep book about the longevity problem. Another, How Not to Die by Dr. Greger, is also about the nutrition. And also the 3 books like this. I have 3 books.
Yeah, you have to send me those, Alex. I'm interested in the longevity thing. I'm very interested in the blue zones research.
Yeah, Dan Buettner. I subscribed to Dan Buettner. I watched several times this movie on Netflix about blue zones.
Yes.
And Dr. Greger is fantastic, and also Peter Attia. They are the top of the mind in the world. So I think both of them should be on your reading list. And also I have a longevity club here, so I meet offline with people on different ages from 15 to 80.
Brilliant.
And we had a group, maybe 30 people here. Like I collected people, gathered them, and we talk about activity. And in my own life, I do every day. I'm 51, so I do every day. I go 1 hour intense gym training every day. So I keep some advice from the books to my life in nutrition and also in exercise.
I do the same. I'm trying to implement a lot of these things, not just the exercise, but making sure you keep your mind alert, connection with nature, time with family and friends, all of those things. There's a lot of pieces to your life that you have to try and get in place. But I think since I moved out of my full-time corporate, and maybe you found the same thing, it gives you the flexibility to be able to incorporate these things more purposefully in your daily life. And that's a massive advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. That was actually my next question about what you do apart from work, but you answered my question. And so the same with me. I work on my mental health a lot, and we have four children, and the youngest kid is 4 years old. So
well, you're busy.
Busy, and we live in the state of war, and this night was very busy, and a lot of people killed in Kiev today, like a lot of people, because they destroyed one building.
Yeah. I'm amazed that you can keep going, with normal life where you are. But all credit to you for doing that.
Thank you, Suzie. So my last question is about your favorite book. Maybe you can recommend some.
Oh, gosh. I'm not actually a big book reader. I tend to...
It could be a movie.
Yeah, well, I actually tend to communicate with people, and that's kind of where I get my inspiration from. And it changes all the time. I don't know. I think actually what I find is being out in nature gives me the best ideas. So I always used to find in my corporate role, when I had a really difficult problem to solve, I'd just go out for a walk with my dog out across the fields, and I would stop thinking about work, and then suddenly the solution would come to me. So that's actually what I find more useful than anything else. But I don't know. I think there's a book called, what's it called? I think it's Guns, Germs and Steel, something like that. It's all about the potential. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is, but it's about the history basically of human life and why humans in Europe became more dominant than humans in, for example, South America. And I think it's fascinating. I love that sort of thing, the kind of anthropology side. I find that very, very interesting. And I think it has a lot of lessons that we can learn and bring to our daily life today. And it helps us to understand why we work the way we do as a human race.
Thank you for sharing, Suzie. I think we are round up our little interview, but I'm happy that we met, and you were so lively, and you have so much experience in life, and you want to have your impact on different parts of humanity, including medtech, and also you praise your work. So I mean that you live a full life, and your work will continue to be impactful, and the company that you're in is the best place, the right place for you, and you will do the most.
I'm not done yet. I feel like I've got decades ahead of me.
Yeah. That's.
I'm going to be one of those blue zones people that's still working away at 99 or something.
Yeah, I will not ask about how old are you, but I think
a bit older than you.
Thank you, Suzie. So let us finish.
Thank you, Alex. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.